destroyed is just turned into no big deal. In fact, I'm going to print that right now. Go ahead. Tell folks about that.
Well, all I know is what I saw on your website, but I mean, it was extremely suspicious. It reminded me, of course, of 9/11, of 7/7, of the fact that they run these drills as cover in case something goes wrong. They can say, "Oh, it was a drill. Never mind. Don't worry about it."
It's amazing. Let's speak about government-sponsored terrorism first, and Montreal 9/11 Truth, and more of how you guys are going out and bringing up these key issues, and how preemptively talking about how they may be planning to stage terror can preempt their activities in a devastating fashion. You also see how serious the government was taking what you were just now saying. Let's go ahead and go through that, and then into the public Bilderberg Group event happening as they take over your government, openly announcing world government in Canada.
Yeah, well, I have to say that actually I wouldn't have even been aware of the company being given the contract for the security cameras in our subway if it weren't for the work of some other members of Montreal 9/11 Truth who came along first and did the research and found out about it. And when I found out, I mean, it didn't pass the stink test. This company had been given the rights to do the security cameras in the London Underground right before 7/7, which, I mean, we all remember, of course, were the same cameras that, didn't work that day on 7/7. It's a company that's owned by a former Mossad official. He's now fighting extradition from, I think it's like Liberia or some African country that doesn't have extradition treaties because he's being brought up on fraud charges. I mean, this guy is a piece of work, and we gave his company the contract for our subway system here in Montreal after it didn't function in the London bombings on 7/7. I mean, come on. So when I heard that, I had to go down and at least videotape my confrontation with the City Hall and put it up on YouTube so that if there was ever something that would happen in Montreal, we could at least point to that in the past and say, look, some people were warning about this before it happened.
Well, absolutely. And it's important to add here that it came out in the news on the day of 7/7 that Benjamin Netanyahu was warned by the head of the Mossad, and because he gave a press conference, and he was in 7/7 that day, just a few hundred yards away from the first train bombing, to, quote, not take the subway because of dangers in the subway that day. And then, even though that was in Haaretz and Jerusalem Post and AP and was all over the news, then they came out in the news and denied it and said it was all a conspiracy theory. And then a week later, the head of Mossad came out again and said, no, we did warn him. I mean, we knew this was going to happen.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like, what's his name, Peter Power? And the
Visor Consultants
just happened to be running drills at the same locations at the same time on the same day. I mean, well, that's just a conspiracy theory, right? I mean, anybody who's got a little common sense knows that the conspiracy theory is just trying to discredit masking these conspiracies, which anybody with a modicum of common sense is going to see. These are very important questions. Like, how could it have been scheduled at the same subway stations on 7/7 at the same time on the same day? I mean, that's not a conspiracy theory. That's just common sense.
Well, it certainly is. You've been out on the ground the last few days. This thing is going through the 8th to the 11th. Let's now get into the main story today, the main event, as they say. For those that just tuned in, describe what's happening in Montreal, who's meeting, the name of the conference, the sub-conferences within it, calling openly for world government.
Yeah, so it's the International Economic Forum of the Americas, which takes place every year. It's the Conference of Montreal. It takes place every year. This is the 15th anniversary. And this year's conference is entitled Adapting to a New World Order. Like you said, it's taking place Monday to Thursday, the 8th to the 11th. Yesterday had an opening plenary session at 8:30 in the morning with the head of the IMF, and that one was titled Towards a New Global Economic Order. There's also other forums and luncheons yesterday with titles like A New World Governance and Thriving in a New Financial Order. Today, the topic is energy, health, and there's a lot of focus on genomics with genome research, genetic research. Today, there's even a plenary session given by the UN, UNESCO, which is part of UN, entitled Genomics Towards a Revolution. And then tomorrow, there's a big thing watching out for. There's a luncheon at noon tomorrow entitled The Americas and the New World Order, and that's being chaired by Madeleine Albright, actually. And when I was speaking to a reporter yesterday who was inside here covering it, we asked him about the North American Union and whether there was anything of the North American Union, and he said no.
Stay there. I want to hear the answer to this when we get back with our guest covering what's happening up there in Montreal right now, Sam LeBrier. I'm Alex Jones. Stay with us.
With food prices soaring to all-time highs, as the dollar continues to fall in value, what can you and your family do to guarantee that fresh, nutritious vegetables will make it to your dinner table? Garden in a Can. Garden in a Can is your source for premium, long-term storable seeds. Garden in a Can is ready when you are. Plant them now or store them for when you really need them. There are 16 large, hermetically sealed, non-hybrid, open-pollinated packets of seeds, along with detailed planting instructions sealed in a can for ultimate long-term protection. Garden in a Can. It's that simple, fresh, healthy, easy. Only $69.95 for over a half acre of safe, fresh vegetables, ready when you are. Stop procrastinating and start preparing with Garden in a Can. For more details, visit gardeninacan.com today. That's gardeninacan.com or call 866-598-7396, 866-598-7396.
In the New World Order's war against humanity, Barack Obama is the tip of the spear.
We've got to give them a stake in creating the kind of world order that I think all of us would like to see.
The Obama deception completely destroys the myth that Obama is working for the best interest of the American people.
Well, Obama's already fudging. He's fudged since day one in this election.
If you have a demagogue with a fanatical mass movement of personality cultists who is imposing the program of a group of extreme bankers and finance oligarchs, that's fascism.
It's not about left or right. It's about a one-world government. This film documents who Obama works for, the lies he has told, and his real agenda. Get your copy of The Obama Deception today at Infowars.com or download it in super high quality at PrisonPlanet.tv. The Obama Deception. The people strike back.
On the average, Americans work between 45 to 50 years, hoping to build up enough wealth to retire and live out their golden years. Unfortunately, with taxation, the rising cost of food, energy, housing, and medical, many retirees are forced to live below the poverty line. Is this a flaw free enterprise, or is our monetary unit we call the Federal Reserve Note forcing us into perpetual debt, ensuring inflation and higher taxes? These questions and more can be answered by reading G. Edward Griffin's book, The Creature from Jekyll Island. Congressman Ron Paul states it's what every American needs to know about central bank power. A gripping adventure into the secret world of international banking cartel. Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I will give a silver dollar from the early 1900s to anyone who purchases this book. Call 1-800-686-2237 and order a copy today. It's critical that the public be made aware of the system. Call and order your copy today at 1-800-686-2237. That's 1-800-686-2237.
Did you know many vitamin and mineral supplements on the market are made from rocks and ground up shells? Think about that. Would you swallow a handful of shells you found at the beach? Our body wasn't designed to digest rocks and shells. Hello, my name is Dr. David Friedman, formulator of Choose for Health, a delicious-tasting chewable dietary supplement derived from 16 fruits, vegetables, and antioxidants. Unlike hard-to-digest pills, Choose for Health is a convenient chewable which allows for better digestion. The choice is yours. Swallow rocks and shells to supplement your diet or a natural chewable product you can better digest. Choose for Health, the world's first superfruit, sea vegetable, antioxidant chewable. Whole food nutrition, not rocks and shells. 1-800-210-1922. Call now and receive a free copy of my best-selling CD, America's Unbalanced Diet. 1-800-210-1922. Or go to orderchoose.com.
There's our guest. The article is up on Infowars.com. This morning I was reading email, and I was sent an email. It's here in my stack. I forgot to dig it out during the break because I was doing a quick 4-minute interview on 93.7 here in town with Charlie Hodge. Great guy. And I printed off the, here it is, the Obama deception movie, Moon Battery at its finest. And I was reading the guy's article attacking the Obama deception, and then I was reading